Hi, I'm Dix Astro Coach. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to my astrological overview for the month of September 2021, including all your astrological zodiac signs. And that comes at the end of the overview, the short overview. And if you want to drop straight into them, they are time-stamped in the description box beneath the video. But I recommend you stick around to just listen at least to the overview before going to your particular zodiac sign. Also, if you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I'd love to see you here. And you just click on the word subscribe that is underneath the video. Also, if you would like to have a one-to-one with me for astro coaching, then check out my website. It's also in the description box beneath the video. So here we are in Virgo season. September, autumn beckons. So Virgo is a mutable sign, and Virgo is also an earth sign, and Virgo is also about service. So to serve others, in a sense, is to also serve ourselves. So it's also, I think, about the mutable energy of Virgo helps us to be of service to the dreams and ideas that seem to have really got lost through the recent strident astrological energies. And of course, with all these outer planets retrograde, they're really at the moment supporting us in a kind of back to school way of thinking, because there's a mix of energies this month, making life seem a lot easier than it has for a while. So in a sense, this month is giving us the chance to pick up the threads of our life's tapestry that's grown a bit dusty on that shelf. Oh, that's my cat's tail just leaving my lap, Minky, Astropus. So it's really time to reconnect, to clear out outworn ideas and beliefs, to give attention to our daily routines and the details of our daily routines, to find more streamlined ways to manage our busy lives and our busy minds. It's really a time to take time out and look forward to the Libra energy that's arriving on the 23rd, because that's going to set us up with fairness and a better balance in our lives. Mercury, the planet of communication, is the planet that rules Virgo. This is why Virgo minds have an analytical ability and a lot of kind of thinking capacity and energy. Unfortunately, though, the shadow side can be a bit pedantic and ruminating, so that nothing gets finished or moves forward. This month, however, retrograde Saturn is making a helpful aspect to Mercury. And this is adding structure and thought to our dealings with others, especially in close relationships. On the 27th, Mercury is going to go into a retrograde phase in Libra until the 18th of October. And I will say a lot more about that in October when I do the October astrology. But there's plenty of time this month to use that Virgo mind to tidy up loose ends with paperwork or nowadays what seems to mainly be electronic paperwork, and make sure before Mercury's retrograde phase that all your electrical appliances are functioning well, cars, anything that perhaps needs servicing, and check tickets for travel and all the timings, as Mercury retrograde has a way of making us a bit vague. The positive side of retrograde Mercury is second chances to catch up with projects and ideas that we've shelved. So for the first 11 days of the month, Venus, the planet of relationship, beauty, value, money, is in Libra, whom she also rules. So Venus rules Taurus and Libra. So she's comfortable in Libra. So she will be bringing some balance and harmony. And that's going to be for about the first 11 days, when she'll also be in a beautiful aspect by retrograde Jupiter, our planet of luck and abundance, in Aquarius. You might even find you get an unexpected windfall. There could be anything like that, or an unexpected opportunity to acquire something that would really make you feel that your home, for example, is more comfortable and more beautiful to live in. Venus is also going to be bringing, with Jupiter's help, luck to relationships. And it'll be that kind of nice love kind of balance and that nice feeling side. Whereas on the 11th, when she moves, Venus moves into Scorpio, it'll become much more stormy and hot. So maybe a chance for some late summer hot passion. We have a new moon on the 7th, and it's, of course, in Virgo, because we're in Virgo season. This new moon is going to bring a sense of more freedom, and it'll feel like there are opportunities to fulfill new dreams. And Mars, our planet of action, aggression sometimes, but assertiveness, sexuality, is in Virgo until mid-month and finds itself in opposition to retrograde Neptune, our planet of dreams and sometimes not such clear thinking, in Pisces. So we may find a sense of urgency with people kind of keen on pursuing their dreams and people kicking back at anyone or anything that seems to stand in their way. Retrograde Uranus, however, in Taurus is also making a very helpful aspect to the Sun in Virgo this month. And I think we're going to see more surprising breakthroughs on the health front. I think that whilst retrograde Pluto in Capricorn this month squares Venus, the planet of relationships, in Libra, we may also see relationships in the public eye go through tough times. So be mindful to watch the news around them. Retrograde Pluto in Capricorn is also making a helpful aspect to Mars in Virgo, and that will bring rapid positive change again. That could also possibly be connected with the health system and medicines. So we may see maybe the booster vaccine for next year with regard to COVID will be available. Maybe it will have a longer term usage. Maybe it will last more than just a few months. Maybe it will be an annual vaccination, which I think would be a lot better for a lot of people. We have the autumn equinox on the 22nd, and that's just before the Sun moves into Libra. So it coincides also with this month's full moon in Pisces, and that sort of straddles the 20th and 21st. It's a harvest moon or a corn moon. And Both Mars and Neptune are involved in this particular lunar event, so there may be a sense of tension as like a determination for transparency and truth in general is kind of fought for. So it's going to be an interesting month. I do feel you're going to find it easier and less pressured and less tense. You know, the retrograde planets are kind of giving us, I think, a little bit of a rest, just to kind of, you know, get our heads back into some kind of level-headed thinking and to see where we want to proceed with all our particular, you know, personal projects as we move into the autumn towards winter. So thank you for watching this part of the video. And now we will move on to the zodiac signs. Thank you. Aries, let's see what's happening for you this month. Well, it looks quite exciting in your 7th house of close personal relationships. Also, that can be business partnerships. So that sort of part of your chart, which is Libra, is really looking very interesting and healthy this month. Now, this is because both Venus, the planet of love and relationship, is in your 7th house Libra. You've also got Mercury there, adding a lot of interesting chatter and communication between you and very close relationships. So why is this so fortunate? Well, this is because both retrograde Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, which is the area of your chart connected with your dreams and your sort of hopes and wishes, and you know, it's just something perhaps that you would really like to manifest with regard to close one-to-one relationships. It's a really brilliant time to look at that and look at that kind of how you can get things in place for the first 11 days of the month. Now, on the 11th, Venus will be moving into Scorpio. Now, it doesn't mean that the emphasis will go completely from relationships, because it's already made this kind of partnership. But it could just actually make your relationships a little bit more hot and steamy. I wish I was an Aries. What can I say? The only thing that you need to watch out for is Pluto in Capricorn, which is in your 10th house, is making a bit of a difficult aspect to Venus when Venus goes into the 8th house. So just bear that in mind, that there's a potential for one door to close, but there will always be another door opening. But I think if that particular door closes, you've probably known it was going to close for some time, so it won't be too difficult for you. So let's see what else we've got going on, because this month we also have a new moon on the 7th, and it's in Virgo, which is the area of your chart connected with service to others and day-to-day routines. It can also be health issues, and it's an interesting new moon because Uranus, that's retrograde in your 2nd house of finance, is really making quite a nice aspect at what we call a trine to the new moon in Virgo. And I think there could be some unexpected, probably unexpected opportunities to make some money, or money comes to you in a rather unusual or unexpected way. But it certainly will be quite a profitable time for you. The full moon this month, of course, is in your 12th house of Pisces. That straddles the 20th, 21st. And it's a harvest moon and a corn moon. And I always think it's good to use these kind of ways that the sort of farmers have called the moons for so many generations to look at, you know, it's a time to look at what you've sown this year and what you can reap from what you've sown. And is it a good harvest for you this year, Aries? Are there more seeds that you need to sow, or seeds that you need to sow in a slightly different way? So the full moon is actually conjunct Neptune, that's retrograde in Pisces. So I also feel there's going to be some soul searching going on with this full moon, maybe because the sun is in Virgo and it is loosely conjunct Mars in that area of your chart. It may well be that you are looking to close the door on a certain kind of work path, or some path that you've been using to bring in a little bit of extra income. You may be deciding that there's no more mileage to go with that, so you may be bringing that to some kind of conclusion. But in general, Aries, September is a much easier month. It is a time for reflection, I think, and for just sitting back a bit and looking at how far you've come. You know, all the zodiac signs have actually been through really difficult times this year. And this is your chance, I think, with that kind of harvest moon and the autumn equinox, to think about that last quarter of the year and what you want in place for that part of your life. And that's your working life and your relationship life. Thank you for joining me, Aries, and I will see you next time. Taurus, let's see what's happening for you this September. Okay, so we have a lot of things going on in your working life. So this is your career path, and how you manage that day-to-day routine. Have you got it in the best format for you now, or for the way you work? It's this energy at the moment is very much about looking at that for you, because in the area of your chart, which is Aquarius, we have both Jupiter, the planet of luck and opportunity, retrograde, also Saturn, the planet of, in a sense, rules and putting down boundaries, is also retrograde. Now, they are both making a very nice aspect to the area of your chart, which is Libra, which is all about your day-to-day working routine. And they are making this aspect in particular to Venus, which is the planet of relationships and love. And I think in this particular format, it's actually saying that Venus is asking you to bring in some nice kind of ways of working with key workers and colleagues, and making sure that you pour oil over troubled waters and that you communicate well with them, because we've also got Mercury there. So Mercury is also lending this helping hand, being the planet of communication, to actually enable really good conversations flowing well with your work colleagues. And on the 11th, Venus, though, is going to be moving into your 7th house, Scorpio. And that's really nice, because Venus there is bringing some light and love to your relationship sector. And not only light and love, but I think a little bit of stormy, heaty passion. Assuming there is someone you can get hot with. So there's certainly that kind of energy around. But it could also bring just lovely kind of times with friends and really good close people. You know, if there's no one significant in your life at the moment, it can also, you know, manifest opportunities for you to meet someone. So remember, Taurus, I know you like to stick to your routine, and you're quite a homebody, but it's really good sometimes, Taurus, to go out and to actually see the big wide world and who's out there. So we've also got Pluto in Capricorn that is retrograde, and that's in the area of your chart connected with travel and higher learning. And Pluto's making quite a hard aspect to Venus that's in Libra before the 11th, in that area of your chart that's connected with day-to-day routine. So I do feel it's something about, if something doesn't work, get rid of it. If you've had a way of working that you thought, no, this is good enough, I can make this work. But if it's really not working, then change it. Let it go. This is your opportunity to really make some good changes, especially because we have a new moon on the 7th in Virgo, in your 5th house, which is the house of creativity. It's the house of children. Also, it can be romance. So there could be a new romance on the cards with this kind of energy there. The other interesting thing is that retrograde Uranus in your house, of course, in Taurus. And remember, Uranus, you're going to be hosting for another nearly 5 years. And the changes that Uranus can bring to you. And I know, Taurus, you can be quite fixed and not want to change or get out of your comfy chair. But Uranus really is urging you to, really just move out of the field that you're used to and go and have a look in some of the other fields and just move around a bit. So, and I think also Uranus could bring an unexpected opportunity back, a sort of perhaps something that never happened, or you heard about it and it never manifested. And this new moon could see an opportunity for that to come back into the sort of the theatre of play. We've also got a full moon in Pisces, and this of course is in the area of your chart connected with your hopes and wishes. And that's on the 20th, 21st. And that's just around the time of the autumn equinox as well. So a good time to harvest what you've already sown and take stock of where you are and look at how you can kind of move on into the last quarter of this year. Neptune is in Pisces for this full moon, conjunct it. Neptune's retrograde. So there may be some things that come back into your mind. It's like that Uranus down there that was kind of bringing in perhaps an unexpected something that would be really worth pursuing. So Neptune, I think, it's something about something that you would like to manifest. And this full moon, I think, is clearing the way. So it's going to clear out what doesn't serve you, so to speak, so that you can move forward with your kind of, secret hopes and wishes and really make your mark on the world, Taurus. There we go. So thank you. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Gemini. So let's see what's happening for you this September. It looks like you're on the move because there's quite a lot of activity in Aquarius, which is your 9th house of travel, amongst other things. It can also be learning new things and teaching and knowledge, and it can even be the house of law. There may be, if you've had some kind of contract that has been delayed because of the restrictions of the pandemic, then I think things are going to start moving forward, because both Saturn and Jupiter are retrograde here at the moment. Now, Jupiter is our planet of opportunity and luck. So that is super helpful in this part of your chart. And Saturn, even though Saturn brings restrictions, Saturn always rewards patience. And if we take our time with the lessons, if you like, that Saturn is teaching us, Saturn will always bring a reward. Now, why am I talking so much about these guys up there? It's because they're making a very kind, helpful aspect to both Venus and Mercury in Libra. Now, this is the area of your chart which is connected with play, creativity. It can be children, it can be romantic partnerships, it can be projects and just creativity in general. And I think the fact that they're making this nice aspect is, it just feels, Gemini, as if things are going to start opening up for you. You've hated the restrictions and the fact that you've really felt quite held back by everything. And this energy is helping with that. Now, especially till the 11th, because with Venus here in this part of your chart, she really is bringing in luck and love to relationships. There may be a little bit of flirtation. And if that's with your significant other, then actually it just enhances the relationship. And Venus on the 11th, though, is going to move into Scorpio, where she gets a little bit hot and steamy. And that's in the area of your chart which is more connected with day-to-day routine. So it can also be health. So my sense is, don't overextend yourself, Gemini, with what Venus represents. Mercury, however, is going to do a retrograde phase a little bit later in the month, towards the end of the month. And I'll talk more about that next month. But Mercury, I think, in this part of your chart is going to have the doors and the powers of communication really operating very quickly. And anything that you've just not been able to kind of attend to is going to quickly get resolved. So that can't be bad, eh? So we've also got Pluto, that's right. So retrograde Pluto in Capricorn, which is in the 8th house, which is very much the part of your chart to do with, it could be transformation, it can be beginnings and endings, it can also be about joint finances. And because it's making quite a hard aspect, a square, to Venus that can also represent money in the 5th, I think it's just a warning to be mindful of how you've structured your finance. And, you know, there may even be some unexpected bills that you incur, which you hadn't really kind of taken into consideration. But we do have a new moon on the 7th, and it's in Virgo. It's in the area of your chart connected with home. So this is a lovely chance to kind of start afresh at home, spring clean. Virgo is all about kind of clearing out the clutter and changing everything, and really all that attention to detail. So it sounds like you're wanting to really kind of, you know, even paint the house, maybe paint the town red, I don't know, but you'll certainly want to really spruce up your living space. Now, retrograde Uranus in Taurus, which is in your 12th house, is making a nice aspect to this new moon in the area of your chart connected with home and family. And I think you could be surprising family members with some of the ideas you come up with. That's my sense of what that's about. We've got a full moon in Pisces. This is in the area of your chart connected with your work and your career. And it's sort of on the 20th, 21st. It's kind of between the two. It's also very close to the autumn equinox. So a time for kind of looking at what, you know, it's the time of year. It's a harvest moon. So it's the time of year when we bring in the harvest. We harvest what we've sown. So perhaps it's a chance for you, Gemini, to look back and think about, even though you've been held back and restricted this year from a lot of the things and projects you've probably wanted to launch, look at what you've been able to achieve in these rather restricted situations. And, you know, you may deserve to give yourself a little bit of a pat on the back, Gemini. Geminis don't cope very well with this kind of energy that we've had lately. And I think also because Neptune is conjunct, retrograde Neptune is conjunct this full moon in this part of the chart. I do feel because the sun, of course, is in Virgo, in the 4th house, which is your area of your chart connected with home and family. So I think you're trying to decide, it's almost like, where do you want to live? You may be thinking about making, it may be that your work is actually making you realize that you could change significantly your living space to accommodate how you work. Maybe you've always worked in an office, and now through the pandemic, and you've perhaps been working remotely, you found that it actually does work and it does serve you well. So it may be that you're looking at whether you can make those kind of changes to your working life that would really work for you in the future. Okay, Virgo, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Gemini, not Virgo. Okay, thanks, Gemini. Cancer, let's see what's happening for you this September. Okay, so we have the emphasis this month very much to do with other people's money, transformation, beginnings and endings, and somehow it's connected with, quite possibly, it could be to do with home, family life, family members. Maybe somebody is leaving or moving in or moving out, but it's nothing to be concerned about, because the aspects that both Saturn and Jupiter that are retrograde in this part of your chart, Aquarius, are making are helpful. Wow, that's good news. And because in the 4th house, which is the house of home and family, it's Libra, and you've got Venus there. And Venus brings harmony and balance to, in this case, family relationships and the home environment. So if things have been a little bit difficult over the last month or so, or couple of months, then things are going to seem much, much easier. And if there is some work that you have to do with regarding joint finances, it will be very easily sorted this month within the family if it's connected with that. You've also got Mercury here in this part of your chart. So communication is going to be very fair, very balanced, very helpful and kind this month, and structured, because Saturn is making a good aspect to it. So I really do feel that you'll be defining the boundaries within how you operate in your home life. So that can't be bad. Now on the 11th, Venus, which is our planet of love and relationships, is going to be moving into Scorpio. Now this is your 5th house of creativity, children, fun. It can also be projects, and it's anything really that is out there and fun. And so Venus is really going to be sprinkling some love and light in kind of just with some groups of people to enjoy some fun times. You know, it's all been so restrictive over the last nearly 2 years. So I do think there'll be an opportunity to have a little bit more relaxed atmosphere and a chance to just enjoy life a bit more. And I also think that even though we have a Mercury retrograde at the end of this month, it's not going to be too bad. I think it's going to give you some extra time to sort out any details that you need to sort out with family members. So that if you don't get everything sorted by the time that Mercury goes retrograde at the end, towards the end of the month, you will get more time to sort these things out. The only difficult aspect comes from retrograde Pluto in Capricorn, which of course is in your 7th house of significant personal relationships. And Pluto is making a difficult aspect to Venus, our planet, also of relationships, that's in the area of your chart connected with your home. So there may be some problems with one particular family member that you still have to iron out. And I think you've got to be careful that you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, Cancer. So just bear that in mind. Now, the new moon this month is in the area of your chart that is to do with communication and short distance journeys, amongst other things. And also it's Virgo. So the sun, of course, is here. And we have retrograde Uranus in Taurus, which is in the area of your chart that is connected with hopes and wishes, making a really rather nice aspect to this new moon. So I just wonder whether, I don't know, I'm just wondering if you're going to be investing in some new or different electronic gadgetry, because Uranus can be anything electric, and it can be the internet and anything like that. And Taurus, value, possessions and money. So I just wonder whether you might be thinking of investing in some new equipment to make your working life much easier. The full moon this month is in Pisces, and this is in the area of your chart that is connected with travel. And it's also conjunct retrograde Neptune. So you may have been thinking that maybe you could get out somewhere or go off on a journey, but it just doesn't look as if it's going to be really possible yet. Not with this Neptune here. Or else it means that you're personally a bit unclear about whether you should make any of these journeys or not. So I think that will just be highlighted around that time. It's around the 20th or 21st, and it's just before we get the autumn equinox. And you know, the autumn equinox, I've been saying to the other signs, is a really lovely time to just sit and take stock and to think back over what you've achieved this year, what has worked, what hasn't worked, how you can redefine things, how you can make things a little bit easier for you. And also, I think if there are things or ways you've been working that don't serve you, then it's time for them to go. So the full moon could see some closure in certain areas of your working life and even personal life. So it's an interesting month. It's lots lighter Cancer than we've had in quite a few months. It really will feel as if you can just kind of cruise at a reasonable altitude this month. Not too many twists and turns and shocks, or well, we hope not, unless Uranus is in the equation. Then they're unpredictable anyway, so I can't predict them. Anyway, so on that note, I shall leave you, and I hope you found that interesting for you and will find it useful for planning your month ahead. And in the meantime, I'll see you next time, Cancer. Thank you so much. Leo, let's see what's happening for you this September. The main focus for you, Leo, is in Aquarius. And this is the 7th house for you, which is the house of significant, personal, close relationships. And you've got both Saturn and Jupiter really kind of making their presence felt in this part of your chart. You know, it's a wonderful opportunity. They are both retrograde, but that's okay. They're just going to move back and forwards a bit through this part of your chart, giving you super opportunities to either lay down good foundations or roots with somebody you would like to really have a long-term commitment with. And Jupiter, of course, is bringing the opportunities in as well, and luck and abundance. So Saturn is giving you that cement, that it's also about taking your time and really looking at whether the relationship that you want serves you well. So bear that in mind too. Now, both Jupiter and Saturn are making very good aspects to the third house for you, which is Libra, which is all about communication. And Libra, of course, is about balance and relationship. We have Venus there. Now, Venus rules Libra. So Venus is adding an extra amount of kind of love and balance to, it's like, because Mercury is also here, which is our planet of communication, the communication that you're going to be having with significant people in your life is really going to be flowing very smoothly. And make the most of it, because on the 11th, Venus will be moving into the 4th house. And that's Scorpio, and that's the area of your chart connected more with home and family. Mercury will remain in your 3rd house, Libra. And Mercury is going to keep those lines of communication open with people that are very important to you in your life. Also, Mercury is going retrograde towards the end of the month, but that is just going to give you extra time to keep these lines of communication flowing smoothly with very good friends, business partners, your significant person in your life. It's also going to give you an opportunity to sort out anything that is to do with gadgets, electronics, getting your head round how the laptop works. I really struggle with that sometimes. Not in general, but just sort of some of the really, clever things you can do with these things, which kind of escape me, but I have someone who is going to help me and show me, so I'm okay. So there is retrograde Pluto in Capricorn in your 6th, which is all about day-to-day routine, making a bit of a difficult angle to Venus. So I think it's about looking at what serves you best in the way you're kind of communicating and working, and how you can actually refine everything and get things into a kind of a better state for your day-to-day routine. The new moon this month is in Virgo, and it's in the 2nd house, which is your house of finance. New moons here are lovely because they can often bring money in or opportunities to make money, a new lease of life in how you make money. So that's on the 7th of September. And retrograde Uranus in Taurus, which is in the area of your chart connected with your career. So you're kind of, what makes you money? And a Taurus, of course, is a house about money and possessions. And Uranus is making a really good aspect to this new moon. So there really could be some unexpected opportunities that come in through your career to start making more money. So that could be really super cool. The full moon this month is in Pisces, and it's on the 20th and 21st. It's kind of between the two. And this is all around the autumn equinox. So a really good time to look at what you've sown this year, how you've progressed through the year. It's a good chance to really, reap the rewards of what you've set in place and look at how you can change things. And anything that doesn't serve you well, it's a good time to discard it. And there's a lot of energy around this full moon, and I'm going to go more into it when I do the monthly video for it. But I think you've got to be aware or mindful to make sure you have clarity of mind and do not act before you've thought something through. If you're going to get rid of something, just think about it before you literally throw the baby out with the bathwater. There we go. That is September for you, Leo. I really wish you well, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you so much for joining me. Virgo, let's see what's happening for you this September. Okay, well, the focus for you this month is very much to do with your day-to-day routine. Admittedly, that has been in the spotlight a lot for you, Virgo. It's been a time for you to try and get a better working routine, to be happier in general about what you're doing, what gives you joy. And with both retrograde Jupiter and Saturn in this part of your chart currently, they are giving you a little bit of a helping hand. Jupiter is bringing some luck and opportunities, and Saturn is really kind of just putting the nuts and bolts into things, the structure into things, which actually suits you quite well, Virgo. And they are both making, respectively, really nice angles. On the one hand, Jupiter with Venus in Libra in the second house, which is your house of finance. Now, Venus is also can be money, possessions. So Venus that rules Libra is very comfortable in your second house of finance. So I wonder whether there'll be more money coming in. There'll be something that you're working on. It could even be an unexpected job opportunity that can have the potential of making you quite a bit of money. Now, Venus is going to move into Scorpio in your third house on the 11th. Now, that's the area of your chart connected with communication. So if there are contracts that need to be sorted out, make sure you really, really pay attention to all the details if you are signing up for something new. In the meantime, Saturn, of course, in Aquarius, is making this nice aspect to Mercury, our planet of communication, also in Libra, in the house of finance for you. Now, Mercury is going to be going retrograde at the end of this month, but that's quite nice for you that it's going to stay in this part of your chart, because if you're trying to sort of tweak your budget, make things, make the money go a little bit further, then Mercury is really going to help you to think through that and think about the best way for you to budget yourself and structure that side of your life. And Saturn, that is in the area of your chart connected with your day-to-day routine, is really helping that, because Saturn also brings in structure. So I do think you're going to find you're being very disciplined about how you budget and how much you spend. So let's see what else is going on, because we have, yes, retrograde Pluto in Capricorn. So Pluto is in the area of your chart connected with creativity. It can also be romantic partners. It can also be children and projects. And Pluto is making quite a hard aspect to Venus that is in Libra in your second house of finance. So this tells me, in spite of all your budgeting, you've got to be careful that something you're quite passionate about doesn't start kind of costing you a little bit more than you bargained for. Now we have a lovely new moon, of course, in your sign, Virgo, and this is on the 7th. This new moon, which is very much going to give you the energy to really feel revitalized and feel really good about yourself. This new moon has a nice aspect from Uranus, our planet of the unexpected, in Taurus, which is in the 9th house of travel. So I wonder whether your beloved, or if you have one, hopefully you do, will be wanting to whisk you off somewhere, even if it's just for a kind of naughty weekend somewhere, but there could be the potential for an unexpected journey that comes up. The full moon this month is also super nice for you, Virgo, because it's in your 7th house, Pisces, of very much your significant one-to-one relationships. The full moon this month straddles the 20th, 21st, and it's very close to the autumn equinox. And this is also a really good time to just sit back and have a look at maybe how things are working out with you and your partner. If there are areas of your relationship that you need to change or let go of, and, you know, to sort of just enhance it. And the full moon is also conjunct retrograde Neptune in this part of your chart. So there's also a potential for quite romantic and nostalgic events happening for you with your nearest and dearest. And you might find that trip that starts off around your birthday with the new moon could actually turn into something quite special. And perhaps if you're both in a relationship and not fully committed, it could bring a commitment. The sun, of course, is in your sign, and it's loosely conjunct Mars, which has now moved into Libra in your 2nd house. So there's also a little bit of, I think, kind of quite sudden and assertive spending that could be going on around close relationships. So keep the balance there, Virgo. Okay, Virgo, well, thank you for joining me, and I do hope September is going to be a great month for you. See you next time. Libra, let's see what's happening for you during this month of September. Well, Libra is hosting its ruling planet, Venus, our goddess of love, beauty, attraction. It can also be finance and money. So I think, Libra, when this planet is in this part of your chart, it really helps you to feel radiant. You're going to be looking attractive, feeling healthy on the inside and the out, and people are going to be drawn to you. And also, you've got Jupiter in the area of your chart that's connected with creativity, amongst other things, making a very nice aspect to Venus. And I feel this is going to give you opportunities to get out and mix and mingle a bit with people and shine a bit. Not something you are particularly prone to, Libra, but actually sometimes, you know, you do have your moments. Also, we've got Venus is going to be moving on the 11th into your 2nd house of Scorpio. So I do feel this is going to bring you a little bit more money, a little bit of a windfall perhaps, something that was unexpected could come in, especially as Uranus is in your 8th house of other people's money. So that could be something to watch out for. You've also got Mercury in Libra, and so Mercury is going to be helping you to communicate very eloquently and succinctly. You're going to be able to kind of think through what you want to say before you actually say it. And Mercury is being helped in this case by retrograde Saturn in the 5th house of Aquarius, which again is creativity, which is giving you some discipline and structure to the way you talk. So Saturn is really being very helpful and rewarding you, if you like, for your patience. And gosh, haven't we all had to be patient over the last 18 months? So we've also got retrograde Pluto in Capricorn in the area of your chart that is connected with home and family. And it's making quite a hard aspect to your 1st house. So there may be some issues that come up around family members. And I think you need to use that mercurial charm that you find when Mercury is in Libra to pour oil over troubled waters. and then you'll be fine. The new moon this month is in Virgo, and this is your 12th house. So the 12th house for you is where you feel restricted. It's where you feel confined and you just want to break out. Well, I think you're going to get that chance because it's on the 7th and it's trined, which is a very helpful aspect, by retrograde Uranus in Taurus in your 8th house of other people's money, but it's also transformations, and it could be beginnings and endings. And I just wonder whether this new moon is going to give you that sense of breaking through, that perhaps you're beginning to see for yourself the light at the end of the tunnel of all the restrictions you personally have had to endure through the pandemic. And I think you're just going to be feeling a lot more settled in September in general, Libra. The full moon this month is in Pisces, and this is in the area of your chart connected with day-to-day working routines. It's also to do with health and service to others. It's on the 20th, 21st. It's around the autumn equinox, and I do feel because the full moon is conjunct retrograde Neptune in Pisces, there could be some confusion about which way you want to go next. It's as if there's something you would like to bring closure to, but maybe you're not quite sure yet or clear how you could proceed with that. But I do feel that these other helpful energies around this month, like that new moon in Virgo, are going to help you see the way forward to bring closure to maybe work situations that don't serve you well, that you really would like to leave in the past. Okay, Libra, thank you so much for joining me. I wish you a great September, and I'll see you next time. Scorpio, let's see what's happening for you this September. Well, it's going to be a much easier month. I'm sure you'll be glad to hear that because, well, first of all, you've got some beautiful angles from both retrograde Jupiter and retrograde Saturn in Aquarius, which is the 4th house and the area of your chart connected with home and family. Now, they're making very nice aspects to both Mercury and Venus that are in your 12th house. Now, even though they, the 12th house can make you feel a bit restricted and kind of restrained, I do feel that Venus is bringing some light into this area, and Jupiter making this lovely aspect is really going to bring some opportunities to maybe break out a bit and just see how you can, blow the cobwebs off certain family relationships. Saturn, that's making this nice aspect to Mercury that's in Libra, is helping you to be much clearer about your thoughts, about your inner world, about perhaps what you want to do and where you want to go. There's just a sense that you're just going to have a little bit more clarity about it, Scorpio. The other thing that's happening is on the 11th, Venus will actually move into your 1st house, which of course is your house, Scorpio. So when Venus is here, it's going to make you feel radiant, attractive. You'll find you'll be attracting lots of admirers with Venus here and just feeling generally much better about yourself. So that's from the 11th. Also, we have a Mercury retrograde, but I'm going to talk more about that in October. So it starts towards the end of the month, but we'll look at that next month. What else have we got going on? The new moon this month is in your 11th house, Virgo, which is very much about hopes and wishes and dreams and things you would like to manifest. It's on the 7th, And it's also got a really nice aspect. Yeah, we've actually got some nice aspects, no more squares. Well, they're there, but not as serious as they have been. And so this new moon is trined, which is a nice aspect, a helpful aspect, by retrograde Uranus in Taurus, which of course is your 7th house of significant relationships. So I just wonder whether something is going to happen for you to do with relationships that is really quite a shock or quite surprising. Something unexpected could be happening. It could be from an existing partner, surprises you with a new way forward. But whatever it is, it could even be a new love. If you have, if you're single and you're looking, then this new moon could bring that opportunity. The full moon this month is in Pisces, and this is on the 20th, 21st, just between the two. It's around the autumn equinox, and it's in your 5th house of creativity and theatre and music and joy and fun. So it's conjunct Neptune. So I wonder whether you'll be having some dreamy ideas about how you would like to move forward with your life. There certainly may be some things or situations that you'll bring closure to with this energy. And I think whatever leaves you at this time is meant to go. So I think it's about trusting that, Scorpio, because if something's gone past its sell-by date, it's really just a matter of, recognizing that and moving on, letting that door close so a new one can open and something or someone new can come in. Okay, Scorpio, thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Sagittarius, let's see what's happening for you during the month of September. What's happening for you in the part of your life that is to do with your dreams, your hopes, your wishes? What is it you are hoping to manifest? Well, while you think about that, I'll tell you why I'm asking you, because this area of your chart is Libra. Now, Libra is a very balanced sign. It's very fair. It's very moderate. And it's a very beautiful sign. And at the moment, this part of your chart, Libra, is hosting its ruling planet, Venus, who is our goddess of love, beauty, romance, relationship, and also Mercury, which is our planet of communication. So my sense is that if there's an idea or a dream you're trying to manifest, especially if it's to do with a relationship, then it's a really good time, certainly during the first 11 days of the month before Venus moves into Scorpio, into your 12th house, to actually try and put some thought to it, which Mercury will help with, because Mercury can really help us get the thinking and the words in the right way towards whatever it is we're manifesting. So Venus and Mercury are being helped by two very nice aspects from both Jupiter and Saturn that are retrograde in Aquarius. They're in the 3rd house of communication. So what this tells me is Jupiter is going to bring opportunities and is saying, go for it. This is a really good time to dream those dreams, to see, to know how it will feel if you manifest what it is that is dear to your heart. And Saturn is giving you clarity. Saturn is going to be helping Mercury to really be clear and clear thinking about what it is or where it is that you want to move forward to. So that's some interesting energy for you to really get your teeth into this month, Sagittarius. We've also got, we've got a new moon in Virgo, and it's on the 7th, and it's in the area of your chart that is connected with your work and your career path or your public image. And this new moon is trined, which is a very helpful aspect, by retrograde Uranus in Taurus in the 6th house. Now, the 6th house is very much about day-to-day routines and your sort of everyday work. And bearing in mind that the new moon is in the area of your chart, which is about your career path, I wonder whether something unexpected will step in to actually help you achieve something that you really would like to achieve with regard to your soul path, your career direction, whatever it is that is your passion. I just feel this is a very helpful new moon for that. The full moon this month is in Pisces, and it's on the 20th and 21st. It's just between the two. And it's in the 4th house, which of course is very much about home and family. It's conjunct retrograde Neptune. Now, Neptune could be bringing, or have been bringing, lots of sort of misty kind of just not quite sure how you want your home life to be. A bit of confusion sometimes with family members, and it's you know, it's not always been easy for you with this energy. But this full moon around the autumn equinox really is giving you an opportunity to have a look at what you've achieved so far with regard to family, to have a look at how you could, in a sense, change things with family members to make them, just to make it all work better. It may be somebody needs to move out. It may be somebody needs to move in or move back in. But there's certainly going to be some chopping and changing. And it may be that you're not quite clear if this is okay at this point. But I think really what this full moon is asking you to do, Sagittarius, is really trust your intuition, your gut feeling, because it's right. Okay, Sagittarius, thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you a wonderful September, and I will see you next time. Capricorn, let's see what's happening for you this month of September. So, we have a big focus on your career this month because it's Libra, and Libra is in the area of your chart connected with your career. Libra is about balance and beauty and attraction, and Libra's ruling planet Venus is currently in Libra. So it's double kind of layering that. It's giving you an extra oomph of attractiveness with the work you do. And I think you're going to be really working well this month and enjoying it. And also, I'm just wondering, because Jupiter is making a really lovely aspect from Aquarius in your house of finance, I just wonder whether there's going to be an opportunity for more money to come in. It may be something like your contract. If you're on a contract, it gets renegotiated and you get paid more, because you've also got Mercury in Libra, and Mercury is also being really nicely aspected by retrograde Saturn in your second house of finance. So Saturn is bringing in some rules and structure. So I just think that there's, and Mercury also can represent contracts and papers. So it could be you're either offered a new contract, or if you're looking for a new job, that could certainly manifest with this energy that's in this part of your chart at the moment. On the 11th, however, Venus will move into Scorpio in your 11th house of hopes and wishes. And that will just bring some kind of loving energy into helping you to manifest what you would like to bring into your life. And that's not necessarily your working life, but actually your life, everything that you do, and with groups of people, and having more fun, getting out more, because everything's been so restricted. So we've also got a new moon in Virgo, and this is in the part of your chart connected with travel, amongst other things. It's on the 7th, and it's got a really nice aspect, which is a trine by retrograde Uranus in Taurus. Now, Uranus, of course, is our planet of surprise, the unexpected, shocks, rebellion. The Earth can move with Uranus around, and it's in Taurus, and it's in the area of your chart which is connected with fun and creativity. It can also be romantic partnerships. I just have a feeling that you are going off unexpectedly somewhere with maybe a new romantic partner, or maybe someone that's been in your life for a short while, and they will spring a surprise journey for you with this new moon. So just see what happens around the 7th, and just for the couple of weeks following that, before we get to the full moon, which is in Pisces on the 20th and 21st. And this full moon is kind of just between the two. It's in your 3rd house, which is the area of your chart that's connected with very much communication. And this moon is conjunct Neptune. Now, Neptune has been bringing quite a lot of mystery and miscommunication and kind of just confusion in your general dealings, so that you've had to be super clear with people, whether it's business or family or friends. You've just had to be really on the ball about how you put yourself across. This full moon tells me that there is going to be something that ends, but I think it's because it's allowing something new to come in, and it could be to do with work. And if you think back to what I was saying about the possibility of a new contract, it could be that it's this contract that is being renegotiated, or a contract to work, and you're leaving one situation and moving into another. Whatever it is, you'll be you'll be very happy about it. The other thing is that, of course, this coincides with the autumn equinox. So it's always a great time to reflect on what you've achieved in the last kind of 3/4 of the year, because the energy now is going to be setting you up for the last quarter of this year. My God, hasn't this year gone quickly? It's just extraordinary how time moves so fast when we're in lockdown. Anyway, hopefully that's going to stay as it is, much, much more open. And we will look at the astrology later in the year for everyone to see how we're fixed for the winter and also for next year. But in the meantime, Capricorn, thank you so much for joining me for your September reading. And I wish you a lovely month, and I'll see you next time. Aquarius, let's see how September is going to unfold for you. Are you enjoying having Jupiter back in your sign, back in your 1st house? Jupiter is retrograde here now, and bringing back some of the lovely luck and opportunity that only Jupiter can do, especially when it's in our 1st house, and especially when it's in our own sign. So enjoy Jupiter's presence here, because next year you're going to have to wave bye-bye to Jupiter when Jupiter moves into Pisces. But for now, sit back and enjoy retrograde Jupiter here. You've also, of course, still got retrograde Saturn here, and Saturn is bringing more of a sort of discernment and a kind of discerning side to your nature to the fore. It's also teaching you to slow down and to be a little bit more mindful and disciplined about what Jupiter could do, which is actually expand your waistline. So I think luckily they are balancing themselves out for you here in your first house. They are both making a very nice aspect to both Venus and Mercury in Libra. Now these two are up in your 9th house of travel, and it's Libra. Venus rules Libra, and Venus is all about love, beauty, relationship, attraction. So Venus is bringing in the opportunities, courtesy of Jupiter in the first house, for you to look at how you can expand not only your mind, because that can be part of this, but there could also be some nice opportunities to travel. And you know, Aquarius, we all need to make the most of it while we can, because even though we hope we're out of the woods, we may not be. I'm not going to say too much about the astrology for next year at this point, but I still think we've got to be mindful of making the most of opportunities when they arise. But that goes for any time, not just when we have the difficulties of a pandemic. We should always make the most of opportunities when they come up. Now Saturn, that is retrograde and also making this very nice aspect to Mercury that's in this part of your chart, is really giving you a chance. If you are a teacher, or if you would like to be a teacher or have thought about teaching, then you will be actually putting your point across very well and very disciplined and very succinctly. I also think that while Saturn is retrograde in this part of your chart, Saturn is giving you a chance to go back over maybe a course you've done, learning you've done, that you need to make sure you've got fully kind of full comprehension of it before you move forward. And what Saturn is giving you is the patience to see that through. So let's see what else we've got going on, because of course you have got retrograde Pluto in Capricorn in your 12th house. Now this really does kind of make you feel a little bit restricted. So just be aware of that. Basically the cosmos, if you like, is encouraging you with Pluto in this position to go deep within, to find your inner core, your gold, to find that sort of alchemical gold inside your soul. And Pluto is really trying to give you a really good opportunity to do this. Now Venus is going to move on the 11th into Scorpio, which of course is your 10th house of work. So there may be some opportunities to make some more money with your work, especially if you're self-employed. You might find that you just start to get more clients. The new moon this month is in Virgo, and it's on the 7th, and it's in the area of your chart that's connected with beginnings and endings, transformation. It can also be sexuality. It can also be other people's money. It's got a very nice aspect from retrograde Uranus in Taurus that's in the area of your chart connected with your home and family. So maybe there's going to be an opportunity here to just look at how you can make some changes at home that would actually suit everybody, and maybe using some money that maybe you've inherited to just kind of, so you'll be thinking perhaps of looking at whether you could actually dig into the money pot and use it to make your living space a little bit more extraordinary and as you would like it. The full moon this month is in Pisces, and it's in your house of finance. So it's on the 20th, 21st, which is kind of between the two. And this is near the autumn equinox, which is actually the 22nd. It's conjunct Neptune. Now, I feel this full moon is really asking you to be totally honest with yourself about your finances, especially bearing in mind what that new moon in Virgo may have brought up. And this full moon is asking you to be clear with yourself, because Neptune can bring in sort of just lack of clarity. But Neptune can also be the intuition. So if you've got a gut feeling about something, then I think it's really important, Aquarius, that you listen to it, because it could be an opportunity to maybe sell something and make some money, and maybe make quite a bit of money and more than you would have expected. Okay, Aquarius, so quite an interesting month for you. I wish you a lovely September, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Pisces, let's see how September is going to pan out for you. Okay, so the first thing I was thinking about is, how is your inner life? How is your psyche? How is your soul? How is your psychological health? Are you taking good care of that? I ask this because you have got both retrograde Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius in the part of your chart that rules that part of your self, your being. And Saturn in particular is quite a hard taskmaster. But both these planets are being very helpful this month to help you dig down deep and feel oh so much better about yourself, because both Venus and Mercury, Venus being the planet of love, relationship, passion, is in Libra, which is in the area of your chart that's connected with, it can be doors closing and opening, it can be endings and beginnings, transformation, other people's money. Mercury is also here in Libra. And because both Saturn and Jupiter are making nice aspects to this, helpful aspects, I do feel you're being given an opportunity by Jupiter to be much kinder to you, and whatever form that takes, because I think you've been under a lot of pressure, Pisces, and you've been rushing all over the place, trying to achieve, trying to change, trying to grow. And this aspect is saying, just keep it cool, keep some balance, keep a pace there. Libra is about balance. And Venus rules Libra. Venus is about beauty and attraction. And I think it's about showing yourself the love and attention that you probably show others, and sometimes not so good at showing to yourself. Retrograde Saturn, however, which is making this nice aspect to Mercury in Libra, here in this part of your chart, is helping you to be much clearer, much more disciplined about what stays in your life and what leaves. That may sound quite harsh, but Saturn has taught you well in this part of your chart. And Saturn is going to be there quite a while longer. And by the time Saturn actually moves into Aquarius, into Pisces, into your sign, I think we're really going to see a very much transformed Piscean personality. What else have we got going on this month? Well, Mercury is going retrograde, but towards the end of the month, and that's in Libra, but I will talk more about that when I do October. But for now, let's look at the new moon in Virgo, which of course is in your opposite sign of love and relationships and significant people in your life. So this is a new moon. If you're single and looking, this could bring possibilities of an unexpected new person entering your life, particularly because it's got a very nice helpful aspect from retrograde Uranus in Taurus in your third house. And this could be somebody that is in your locality, somebody who's not actually that very far from home. So that could be interesting, and it would be quite unexpected. But also, if you are in a really good relationship, Pisces, then it could be that there will be a lot of communication going on with you and a significant other, which brings about some unexpected changes that maybe shock a few people. And they thought, whoa, we didn't see that coming. So that could be something else. The full moon, of course, this month is in your sign, Pisces. And it's always lovely when we get one of the lunar events in our own sign, whether it's the new moon or the full moon. And you've now got the full moon. It is conjunct retrograde Neptune, which of course you've got in your sign and you will have for quite a few more years. But that's good. It has good sides and bad sides to it. But this full moon is conjunct Neptune. So I think people are going to be finding you quite mysterious. I think also your intuition is going to be absolutely spot on. I also feel that you're going to be quite, I want to say brutal about things that must leave your life. But I said that a little bit earlier about if something has really outworn itself, it has to go. Whether you're clearing out clutter, whether you're doing some people pruning, whether you're going through your list of friends on social media and thinking, I don't even know who they are. Right, delete or unfriend. Who knows what it is? But you will be clear and you will be making some quite definite decisions, because it feels, Pisces, as if we've reached a point with this autumn equinox, which we've also got on the 22nd. And that's very much, and that's when the sun will move into Libra. And what happens with this energy is that we reflect back on how far we've come this year. And also we look at what we want to take forward for ourselves into the last quarter of the year. So I feel that Pisces are going to be doing some pruning. And I think you want to make your life more streamlined and more manageable. And you know what, Pisces, if people don't like it, that's not your problem. I always think that's a really great thing to remember, that if someone doesn't like a decision we make, it's not our problem, it's their problem. Listen, Pisces, go easy. Don't tread on too many toes, and try and use a little bit of, the Venusian, the Venus energy of just soothing and being gentle about how you come across sometimes. But you're doing well, Pisces, and all in all, I think a very interesting month for you. Take care, Pisces, and I look forward to seeing you next time.